Hello and welcome to another episode of Bookworthy. I am your host, Chris Rini. Thanks for joining me, everyone, and thank you especially to everyone who has been subscribing to the YouTube channel, joining the Patreon, and just generally giving a lot of support. I am super grateful. As some of you know, things are a little rocky with Bloody Elbow right now, where I do a cartoon series. Our parent company, Vox Media, is severing ties with this website, but we are looking into the potential of running it independently, and things are very exciting. I'm not even mourning the loss of Bloody Elbow yet. I've been working there for the past 5 years. I guess I just still feel a lot of hope, and I have a lot of confidence in Nate Wilcox. He's the one who is. He's kind of. I know this will rankle some people, but he's like the Miles Davis of MMA editors in a way. If you respect the work of Jack Slack, John Nash, Kareem Zidane, I mean, these are serious people that Nate brought along. Not to mention people like Eugene S. Robinson, Zane Simon, Connor Rubush, I should say. The Heavy Hands guys, Phil McKenzie, but Patrick Wyman, all these people came up through Bloody Elbow. It's really fascinating that Nate shouldn't have his thumb on his thumbprint on so many people's careers. Anyway, again, please look down at the links in the description below if you would like to support the studio through Patreon. You can just follow me on Twitter. Subscribe to this channel, like, comment. I do enjoy hearing what people have to say about the work. It doesn't have to be just compliments. Today we're going to look at some Sergei Spivak just like throwing Derek Lewis around like he's just a sack of potatoes, to use the parlance of my childhood. All right, let's get into it. Thanks a lot, people. I'll see you soon. Welcome to another episode of Bookworthy. Today we'll be looking at Sergei Spivak's absolute domination of Derek Lewis. It was primarily through grappling, upper body takedowns, dominant positions, and while Derek Lewis was able to do his kind of Derek Lewis thing of just getting up, he was never able to fully separate from Spivak. Spivak seemed to hold a body lock, keep Lewis off balance, really kind of do something that I haven't seen anybody since Daniel Cormier do to the Black Beast. And this is also the first time since Daniel Cormier in the UFC that Lewis has been so thoroughly dominated through something, honestly, bell to bell in a non-striking affair. I know that there are other fights like the Alexander Volkov one, or maybe even like the Mark Hunt fight where he was, really outclassed. But really, this is, I worry that this spells the end of the Black Beast's kind of reign as kind of even, dare I say, a gatekeeper, for that title level fighter. As you can see here, there was a little gap. I lost a couple videos. I've been doing a lot of backup of all of my personal computing equipment, phone, iPad, MacBook. It's been, I don't know. I guess I hit the 1 year mark for the MacBook, and everything's getting a little crooked. Anyway, in case you didn't notice, one of my primary focuses is to keep the entire body of each fighter within the picture plane. It's a compositional choice that I make, and I love the way that it forces us to kind of consider the edges of every painting or drawing. One thing that I've learned in the course of making these books, if you're unaware, the fourth one is about to come out, is how there are peaks and valleys in terms of what is considered relevant fights. The three things I look for are, was this one of the best fights? Was it one of the most exciting fights? Was it a relevant fight? And oftentimes something like Here's an extreme example: Esparza versus Namajunas. That's going to make it into the book. It's an important part of the history of champions within a weight class. Whereas something like David Onama versus Nate Landwehr, that's also going to make it into the book, because while these guys are right on the edge of being ranked, that was truly a thrilling fight and a show of heart. So when we get into this kind of weird heavyweight, weight class, basically what I want to say is that in light heavyweight and heavyweight, there's not a lot of great fights, and there's not even a lot of captivating fights. It's such a strange landscape, the upper divisions in the UFC. There's not a lot of talent to spread around, and there's a bit in all the different organizations. So I've found that, especially in the past 2 years, I've combined those chapters in The Fine Art of Violence. Okay, now we have our finished piece. We have a nice composition. Lewis is in midair. I love that Spivak's 1 foot. That's the only thing. We have close to 500 pounds of heavyweight flesh in the air. This is the kind of dynamic tension that I really strive for in my work. And instead of kind of tracing my original drawing, as you can see, I kept it as a thumbnail and just kind of free-handed. I wanted to come up with a more loose, dynamic kind of drawing. And I think that comes through. I think you could see here, I brought the digital piece over to the new studio where I'm working and lasered it into the wood. And now I'm staining it with some of these custom stains I made. And these Nishi brushes, who I am not sponsored by, these are just fantastic. They're water brushes. You can actually, I could like squeeze it and then use the suction to pull water up into the brush. But with something like as delicate as what I'm doing, you definitely don't want to do that. Try and keep the brush as dry as possible. And I basically use it like a feather, quill and inkwell style. What I'm experimenting with now is using fewer lines. And you could see in Lewis's right leg and in his left thigh, I'm trying to just apply stain and allow the natural shadows to come out rather than drawing every single shadow. And now we're getting close to finished. Let's see. Yeah, we put some black in for the gloves. I wish I would have see that highlight for Spivak's gluteus maximus. I'm going to black that out, and I'm a little regretful of that. I think it should have stayed a brighter tone. Got some nice flesh tones. That's always, a challenge to get when you're working with a wood stain. And then I put down a light exterior color to kind of make everything pop out. These are some of the books available at chrisreaney.com. Thanks for your time. See you soon. Bye.